Maverick City Music, as requested by one of you. It's getting us to 20 minutes to the top of the hour. And I'm also live on Facebook and YouTube at OPFM Live. And it's time for us to break bread. It's time for us to look at what the Word of God says. And this afternoon, we are going to read from Psalm 37. That is Psalm 37, verse 18 to 19. And if you can get me pale live, unaweza ukaniambia kama unanipata vizuri, picha iko vipi, sauti iko vipi, so that we all get to listen vile inafaa, si ndio? So you can get me on Facebook at Top FM Live, pale YouTube pia at Top FM Live, even as you listen via the radio right now, whatever frequency it is you're using, I say asante. Psalm 37, verse 18 to 19. That is what we are looking at. And the Word of God says, the blameless spend their days under the Lord's care, and their inheritance will endure forever. In times of disaster, they will not wither. In days of famine, they will enjoy plenty. And then there's also the part of the wicked who will perish. But I'm looking at 18 verse 19, Psalm 37, 18 and 19. The blameless spend their days under the Lord's care, and the inheritance will endure forever. In times of disaster, they will not wither. In days of famine, they will enjoy plenty. And I've titled this devotion, No One Cares Like the Lord. And when I say no one cares like the Lord, I mean even how your parents cares for you, the Lord beats them. And like ingekuwa ni kinyang'anyiro ya who cares, hata wazazi wetu, they can't care for us the way the Lord cares for us. Because, for example, now you are an adult, huwezi lilia maziwa. Mzazi hata ajui ulikula nini jana. Sangine hata before mpigie simu mwambie kumeharibika, it's a month or a week. But the Lord is there constantly. So no one cares like the Lord. And spending the day under the Lord's care. And I was wondering, how do we get to spend the day under the Lord's care? And I'm very observant. And saizi ile season niko pale and Mama J, we have a newborn, and unakuta saa ingine unaamshwa usiku, unaambiwa ebuka chini, uobserve tu, ukae tu ukaishe mtu aki breastfeed, alafu mlale. After 10 minutes unafungua macho tena, unakutana na uso ya mtu kwa uso yako, anakuambia it's your turn. You're like, it's my turn, I've just woken up. You and yeye analala. It's caring. We are caring for this baby. And when kuna baridi utatafuta kitu warm, wakati kuna joto utatafuta kitu yenye ni light. Saa ingine mimi naona kuna jua and I'm like kuna joto, and you're like hiyo jua isikudanganye, there is something, kuna kabaridi mahali. Like, people know how to care, but now the Lord cares more than how you care for that little baby you have, or even how you care about that husband unampenda. Ukisikia tu watu walibarikiwa na mabwana wazuri, wewe unasemanga thank you for this husband, you care for him. Anakuja na hata wewe unametoa viatu, hata labda unakanda mgongo, like you do all these things, but you cannot outcare the Lord. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. You cannot do what? Outcare the Lord. And so this afternoon, I want to assure you that times of disaster exist. If you look at the world right now, there are places and unaangalia unasema disaster is here. There are times of famine. It might be real famine as we know it. It can be situations that you can say, this is a drought-like situation. This is a disaster kind of situation. But then there is a way that a parent, can help maneuver a season. For example, if I ask you how you went through school, some of you have very nice testimonies. Mimi kiatu nilivaa pale form 1. Kiatu yangu ya kwanza nilivaa pale university after nimepata help. Such testimonies you have. That even as these parents, could not afford a shoe when you needed a shoe, they they still cared in a way that you went to school until ulifika mahali ukavaa viatu, na labda sahii wewe ni daktari, wewe ni profesa, wewe ni mtu wa kutajika. So we as human beings can care to a certain limit. Tunaweza sema wacha between 3 meals a day and 2 meals a day, and then this one we put up, that kind of mathematics we do, and it all reflects as care. But now for those who spend their days under the Lord's care, for the spending, there's how you spend your day. Naamka na kula na kunywa, naenda job, nafanya nini, say lunch, nakimbia base ya Kibandaski, na narudi job, like umejipanga vile unajipanga during your day. Lakini sasa nataka kukuchallenge that ukijipanga vile unajipanga, ensure that umejipanga in a way that during the day you are under the Lord's care. Why? Because when times of disaster come, you will not wither. Mimi sita wither. In days of famine, we will enjoy plenty. As I said, there is a limit on how we care. Kuna ile sengine hata you care na usingizi na kupata papu, na amka unakuta hata maziwa ilimwagika. Si ati hukuwa unajua kuna maziwa kwa. Like we are limited in so many ways as human beings. There is a time of disaster, and maybe somebody else is going through the same thing I'm going through, and therefore we cannot help each other, but the Lord can help us. There's a time you're gonna make that call when niko pabaya, I'm in a drought-like situation, my pockets are dry and bills are here, and ule mwenye unapigia simu anakwambia pia, I am in such a place. So instead of sisi kukasirika na kuona watu wengine kama ndio wabaya na kufeel kama kuna wengine wanakataa ama kutusaidia and these things, because shetani anafanyanga, tunaona watu wengine, especially those we think wameomoka, tunaona ni kama wanatulenga. Can you ensure that number one, you are under the Lord's care every day? Every day. And so how do we ensure that we are under the Lord's care every day? What is it that the blameless do that you and I can do, because we are the righteous of God? We are saved. And the word of God says the blameless spend their days under the Lord's care. This means there's something they know. What are these things you and I can do to ensure that we are spending our day, not just today, tomorrow, and the days to come, under the Lord's care? So when you wake up, wakati umeamka, make sure you begin, your day with prayers, thanking God for the new day and asking even for his guidance and protection. That Lord, mahali popote mimi nitaenda, mtu yoyote mimi nitapatana, ordain kabisa my steps. Mimi naenda mahali wewe umesema. And so whoever you meet or whatever your business you do, you get to see it as, what, God is in this. I prayed for this. Consider even reading a Bible passage to set the tone for the day and to seek his word for strength and direction. Like, this is the word for this day. Nimesoma indio tone, indio strength, indio direction ya hii siku. Seeking God's wisdom and guidance. My friends, we meet so many situations during our days that needs wisdom. Sangine hata sisi tunajikuta tunafikiria knowledge yetu ndio itasort kila kitu. But even as you know what you need to do pale kazini, ask God for wisdom. Pray through the day for wisdom and discernment in your decision and action, especially when facing challenges. Look for opportunities to learn and grow in your faith, perhaps by listening even a sermon, a Bible study, or praying with a fellow believer. Your lunch break hapo mnashikana mkono na mnaongea, mnaomba. Let me tell you, that is spending the day under the Lord's care, expressing gratitude and worship. Wengine wetu ni Sunday tu, ama wakati umeona mpesa tu unasema Mungu asanti. Take time to express your gratitude for God's blessing, whether big or small. Engage in worship, whether through music, prayer, or act of service, to acknowledge God's greatness. So live with intention, be mindful of your thoughts, words, and action. Guard your heart at all times. These are things that the Lord wants us to do. So kuna mali Mungu ako na sisi na he's always with us, lakini kuna steps ambazo tunafaa tuchukue to be closer to him. Seek to serve others, demonstrate compassion and kindness in your interaction. Siku ikiisha unasema there was an act of kindness, trusting in God's provision. Ultimately, you recognize that God is in control of your day and that He will provide for your needs. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Pray for His strength and perseverance as you face challenges and even setbacks. And then jioni, at the end of the day, take time to reflect on God's faithfulness. Wakati mnafinya hiyo sembe, umekuja na unga. You look at what has God done for me today and the blessing He has given you. Pray for a peaceful night, rest, and ask for His guidance in the days to come. And the next day, you do the same thing. You ensure that mimi na Mungu tuko pamoja. Ile kitu nasikiza, nikipiga ile delivery, ni kitu inaniweka close to Mungu. Wale watu mimi na interact now, zile solutions mimi naleta ni solutions ambazo mimi nishaongea na Mungu concerning them. I repeat what the word of God says, hata tukimalizia. The blameless spend their days under the Lord's care. You have to spend your day under the Lord's care. Why? And the inheritance will endure forever. Oh my, forever. Wow. In times of disaster, you will not wither. In days of famine, you will enjoy plenty. So, even as you care for each other, as you care for your sons and daughters, as you care for your husbands and your wives, as you care for your parents or your parents care for you, make sure that number one, you are under the care of the Lord. You are under the care of the Lord. He knows how to take care of us more than anyone else. You see, as a parent, how you take care, He is our parent. He is our creator. Imagine how much more He can do for us. Come on, come on.